Hey everybody, welcome to another video review. It's kind of nice to get back in the saddle and talk a little bit more about my first passion, which is statues. I do have so many of them. And I think the last couple of videos me a little bit distracted, first with a whole bunch of Monsterpalooza videos, and then of course Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, a couple of reaction videos to movies, and Game of Thrones series finale, and then my new hobby with putting out some solutions for really cool disassembly metal puzzles that I haven't put on a nice statue review for a while. And when we talk about statues, there's two main things. There's the regular polystone resin statues, custom kits, and then there's of course the wonderful Walt Disney Classics collection, which I have a few pieces. So I was going to do all of this together in one stretch again before I got distracted. By one stretch, I meant the Aladdin movie had just come out a few weeks ago, and after my movie review, I was going to do a review of the Walt Disney Classics collection pieces I do own of Aladdin, but I got sidetracked. So here I am, sort of getting refocused again. So this is a Gold Circle exclusive, or Gold Circle dealer exclusive piece. It's from the Walt Disney Classics collection, and it's titled A Whole New World, obviously, and it's from Aladdin. This is all fine porcelain. It's one of the crown jewels of the Aladdin line. It's unbelievably beautiful. It's one of my favorite pieces, and I really love the opportunity to do this review. I think, again, this might be the only review on YouTube of this gorgeous piece, which is just shocking because there's so many people out there who own it. But for those of you who don't have it, just wanted to kind of take this opportunity again to perhaps showcase it from all the different angles and talk about how amazing this thing is. So there's 1,992 of these. It is a limited edition, and this is all porcelain except for some of the plussing elements, like I believe the jewel on Aladdin's turban, as well as Jasmine. I believe that those are not porcelain. They're actually jewels and whatnot. Not real jewels, but they're there. Here's a beautiful shot of the carpet. I'm gonna sort of pan back again. You can kind of see the piece from all different angles. So again, back when the Walt Disney Classics collection pieces were very popular, a lot of dealers would get special deals to sell pieces, and a Gold Circle piece was limited to only certain dealers that had a relationship with the Walt Disney Classics collection, and only they could sell them. There's usually maybe less of a discount, that type of thing, and usually Gold Circle pieces, of which they release maybe 1 or 2 a year, were considered kind of like the cream of the crop. Special pieces, pieces that have some sort of significance, that are a little bit more complicated, that denote a more magical moment from the movies. And so, for instance, later on, I'm going to show you She Didn't Shudder on My Paw, which was a Gold Circle release from Beauty and the Beast. But for Aladdin, a year later, they decided to release, again, in honor of the year that the movie was released, 1,992 of this piece, only sold at Gold Circle dealers. And you can see why they would choose this piece. This is, of course, from the amazing moment when A Whole New World, they sing the duet A Whole New World together, and they're exploring the world, and this is captured right when she's sort of looking at him, and he's showing her literally, the world, and they're on this beautiful carpet. There's a little bit of dust there. I have it in my display cabinet, but you can actually hear the porcelain. I've had this piece for a while, I think well over 10 years. It's beautiful, from Jasmine's flowing hair, her turquoise dress, and then of course Aladdin's gold trim, his alter ego as Prince Ali, the fake, I guess, the glass little bits in their turbans that I mentioned, The way he sculpted, the way the cape is flowing behind him, the sense of movement, and of course the bananas level of detail on the carpet. Again, just gonna sort of touch it a little bit, wipe some of the dust away. Should probably get a makeup brush eventually, but hopefully you can appreciate again the beautiful carpet. All of this, hand painted, and remember, it has to be fired in a kiln in multiple stages. Very, very beautiful detailing of the clouds underneath. It's got shades of blue, the dark blue and the light blue. Of course, all of this made more magical because of the glaze on these porcelain pieces. I've said it before, you're gonna hear me say it many, many times. When you take the time to actually look at the details here, it's just completely mind-blowing that they were able to sort of achieve the fidelity to the source material, as well as put all that amazing detail in porcelain form. They really look like they were taken in a snapshot right out of the movie and then given three-dimensional form. And if you're a fan of Aladdin, I just can't imagine a better piece to own than this, something so authentic. This was, again, back when the Walt Disney Classics collection was really, truly magical. So, what's there to say about this piece? I'm just going to go in for some close-ups so you can sort of appreciate it yourself. Here's Aladdin himself. Look at the gold trim. Very, very pretty right over here. And then here's his outstretched hand. It's a little bit tricky to get Jasmine because, again, she's looking at him and his hand's in the way. Come on, Ali. But try to get a view from here, a little bit closer. Beautiful face right there. Very, very nice. Now, if you go real close, we're talking like ridiculously level, like super, super close, you can tell that there is some crazing on her face. I don't know if you can tell we're talking all the way up to here, you can tell. Well, of course, you go back here and there's none. So, my feelings about crazing has changed over the years. Again, showing you the carpet, the back of her, and of course the clouds. They're pulling back, so you kind of have an idea of the sense of dynamic movement that this piece presents. I used to really be bothered by crazing. I didn't really want a piece that had it. I thought that was a defect in the art. But just kind of having collected for a lot longer, now over 15 years, and kind of researched it, read more about it, appreciated more. I feel like unless the crazing is really bad and really obvious, that the very, very small network of cracks, where I'm literally taking a high definition camera and putting it, we're talking maybe 2 inches away, maybe closer, and then you can see the little fine network. If it doesn't affect the piece itself, then I really feel like the crazing is fine. I've talked about this multiple times, and there are a lot of groups out there like the Walt Disney Classics Collection, Facebook groups, and it really, the crazing happens during expansion of the glaze as these pieces are being fired. Sometimes it happens during the actual production. Other times it happens over the course of time. And as these pieces are reaching decades long age, you're going to have these type of things. And I live in the desert, very dry, but I live in a air-conditioned home, temperature controlled and humidity controlled. And with all of that, even in my situation, I now see very, very little tiny subtle areas of crazing. I've seen pieces brand out of the box with it. And I'm really understanding now that this might be something that's essentially just unavoidable. And if there's a beautiful piece that you want, and I wouldn't let a very, very small amount of it deter you. Because I don't know if you can prevent it, meaning that you can buy a perfect piece and maybe another couple years, in the collections, hanging around in your house or whatever, and it might develop that over time. Again, as porcelain ages, it just might be unavoidable. And sometimes I think there are pieces that I could swear, because I was really, really picky about it, that had absolutely zero, no crazing. And then, maybe 5-6 years later, and I'm pulling them out to do this video review, I realize, hey, there is a little bit of crazing. You just have to go literally shoving it like a paparazzi in Jasmine's face to see it. But honestly, if you can barely tell from this distance anything, I'm okay with it. So once again, that's just my 2 bits on the whole subject of crazing and whether it affects value, whether it's okay. I think in a lot of instances, it's going to be inevitable. And again, when you look at fine art and fine art porcelain or porcelain pieces that can sometimes be hundreds of years old, in the porcelain collecting world, crazing is not considered a defect. It's just considered part of the, part of the character of an aging antique. And this wasn't the case maybe with Walt Disney Classics collection pieces, because they're so new. This is, in the grand scheme of things, at only 25 plus years old, give or take. These are baby collectibles. They're not anywhere near considered the age to call them antiques. But now, as time begins to pass, and maybe people are passing on to their children, their children's children, I think you're going to see a little bit more of that crop up with a lot more Walt Disney Classics collection pieces. So there you have it. Again, A Whole New World from Aladdin, one of my favorite pieces. I'm not a huge Aladdin fan, but along with Little Mermaid and Beauty and the Beast and Aladdin, this trio of films sort of started the Disney Renaissance of the late 80s, early 90s. And so I was a certain age when they came out, and they have a lot of nostalgia for me. I remember all of them very, very fondly. And of course, these were the core 3 movies that the brilliant lyricist Howard Ashman was involved in. And so they all hold a very special place in my heart, because I'm such a big admirer of Howard Ashman's lyrics and his songs and his story sense, so to speak. And so I had to get a gold circle of this piece. Got it many years ago for a reasonable price. I'm very, very happy that I have it in my collection. So I hope you enjoyed that relatively short video review of my WDCC, A Whole New World, Aladdin and Jasmine. This is, without doubt, one of the best representations of a now iconic scene, from the movie. And I'm going to end on them going from above, giving them a little shot from below. And until next time, take care.